the fundamentals of the business right now point to plentiful supply for a number of years. That doesn't mean that's actually what's going to happen because there's things happen in this business. There's exposure to unexpected events and things like that, and I'll talk about that in a minute. But the Gazprom has the potential to start up three helium plants. Right now, they are running the first one of three. It's producing around 600 million feet a year, which is a little less than its nameplate capacity, but it's a substantial amount of capacity. If Gazprom eventually starts up three trains, and that could add somewhere between 1.5 and 2 BCF to global supply. Qatar Energy has announced plans to start up Qatar 4 sometime around 2027. That possibly could slip, as these big projects do at times, but just those two projects have the potential to add 50% to global supply. So that is a lot of supply. Now, even if I guess there's some chance that the third plant at Amur could be delayed. I mean, it's the second plant's mechanically complete, as I understand it. So the second plant's probably going to start up next year. Third plant could get pushed back some, but there's a lot of supply new supply coming into the market, not even taking into consideration all the startups and other projects out there. So I tend to focus on those two big projects that are, relatively sure things that are easy to identify, and that's where my focus is. On the demand side, I guess I'd say I'm hopeful that there will be 2 or 3% per year of growth. There really hasn't been net growth in helium demand in quite some time. I would say, back to 2011. And it's not that there aren't parts of the business that are growing, but what we've seen is classic reaction to higher prices. So we've had 4 shortages. Helium prices are much higher than they were in the past. And classic economics, there's something called price elasticity of demand that just says that, when you raise the price of a commodity, all other things being the same, demand goes down. If you lower the price of a commodity, all other things being the same, demand should go up. And that has played out just according to the textbooks in the helium business, where you've seen substitution of helium for helium with other gases. You've seen increased recycling, for instance, at MRI magnet manufacturing facilities or optical fiber manufacturing facilities. And you've seen improvements in technology. MRI scanners use far less helium than they did with earlier generations. So, the chip industry, semiconductor chip manufacturing, is a growth sector. Should be a pretty good growth sector. And, for quite a while. Aerospace is a growth sector. But the other leading application besides chip manufacturing is MRI, and that's a shrinking sector. So when you add all of that together, I would say, folks are optimistically forecasting 2 or 3% demand growth, but that's not really enough to absorb a 50% increase in supply. So, the industry will make adjustments, to avoid having a really big oversupply. Projects could be delayed. There are some new storage facilities that Air Liquide and Air Products have developed, and I think there's another one under development that could, folks could put some helium into storage. That would, could relieve some pressure on the market, things like that. But it's pretty clear that, the outlook should be for plentiful supply. Now, again, I don't have a crystal ball. I'm definitely not clairvoyant, and I've been wrong plenty of times in the past when I've been asked by my management teams to do 5-year forecasts or things like that. But so, this is a business that is subject to geopolitical risk. If Israel and Iran have a major war, which is a possibility, certainly, that could affect LNG production in Qatar, which would affect helium production in Qatar. Uh, Qatar produces around a third of the world's helium. That would be a major thing. It would have a major impact on the market. There's always a risk of outages in this business. We have had plants that have had explosions in the past that have taken them out of commission for a long time. And the Gazprom project was delayed 2 years. Originally started up in September 2021, and the market that we're experiencing 2024 was supposed to be the market that we experienced in 2022. But there was an explosion at the Amur plant, and that delayed the startup until September 2023. So things like that can happen. And then there's one other thing I'll mention, but I think we'll talk about it a little bit more later. But Messer has acquired the BLM's helium assets, and thus far they have not been able to extend the lease of the crude helium enrichment unit. That's still being negotiated. And there's a non-zero risk of disruption to the BLM if that lease is not extended. But I think it will be extended, but it hasn't happened yet. So it's certainly possible to identify these kind of things that can go wrong, these black swan type things, but it's very difficult to predict and put them in a forecast that says, okay, this plant's going to blow up on this date. We're going to lose this much capacity, and therefore we're going to have another shortage instead of plentiful supply. So anyway, that's kind of a long explanation, but the short summary is it looks like we're going to have plentiful supply for quite a while.